The following video is going to demonstrate different types of tarp shelters. Scudder Land did a couple and I did a couple. This is to show you how you can easily set up a tarp shelter. We are using trekking poles, but you can also use ropes between two trees. I hope you enjoy the videos. Thank you. The first tarp shelter that we're going to demonstrate is called a cornet shelter or a corn shelter. This will be done by Scudder
It's
Land.
parti?
Oui.
Okay. So first of all, what I will do, I will extend my walking stick as a full length. And then after that, I will take my compass and I will check where the east is. So with that, I put the red needle in the house. So the east is over there. So when I will put up my shelter, I will put the front entrance as the east side there. So today I will show you two different shelter. First one will be for one person for one night, and I will open my tarp. The tarp is a 10 by 10. Okay. So I will take my peg. I will peg the bottom part of my shelter. I will take one peg with a small rope and my walking stick. Then I will raise the shelter. We'll attach a rope. Whoop. Look at that, the peg in the front. Okay. Rest of my peg. We will peg the top down. That. Philip, move on the other side. Okay, easy. So we'll fix that here. Okay, and I have a shelter for tonight. If it rains, it will rain, the water will go that way, and also next morning when the sun will up, I will have the sun here. The reason I am using the east side, because in Quebec, most of the time the wind will be from the west to east or southwest to the east. So if I put the front as east side there, the wind will be always from my back, not from my front. Stop.
The next tarp shelter that Scouterland is going to show is a basic A-frame. Here we're using poles, but again you could use a rope across between two trees and just hang the tarp off it.
Okay, now I will show you a second kind of shelter. So I will, after my first shelter is okay, so I will remove some peg. So I'm taking my other walking stick and I will add kind of entrance. I'm just making a small knot over here to hold the rope. I will prepare my rope over here. As you can see there, I'm just making I just increase the loop there. So when I put the peg, that one will stop. Taking one side and taking the other side. Okay. Then we go the other side. Lift up my walking stick. The peg remains there. As you can see, it's a kind of V shape. I will reattach the middle one to keep it coming down. Go the other side. Okay, put some tension on the rope. And I will take a long rope. As you can see, I have a long one over here. Okay, and this one will be attached in between my two okay, that should make a tension. Okay, come here, you see, so I'll pass down easy. So the rope there in the middle will put a tension in the rope. If they ring, at least it will not collapse from the middle, but it will stay straight. Okay, it will be straight. So that one, as you can see, it's a V shape. We can use that for a for lunch, something like that, or protect yourself from the sun. If you have large trees We could put higher in the trees there and just make a kind of canopy only. But that's another kind of shelter you could do. So thank you to listen to me.
The next tarp shelter we're going to demonstrate is a sea shelter. It provides a small amount of floor so that you can have something to lay on to get you off the ground. The A-frame doesn't provide you any shelter, or neither does the cone, so you need some sort of floor, but this design will show you uh, how to put the floor into the tarp. Hi, Scouter Sean here. Just hiked into my campsite, and right now I'm going to set up what's called a C-type tarp shelter. So the first thing I had to do is figure out, do we have a good space? And if you look right now, you can, on the ground, there's a good space here to place my tarp. So, take off my bag for my big hike. The tarp I'm going to use is a Chinook. It's a 12 by 9 tarp, and it's an ultralight tarp. It only weighs 2 pounds. So, first thing you're going to do, I recommend grandstand with it. First thing we're going to do is lay out the tarp. So with a lot of tarp configurations, normally they don't have a floor. The C-type provides a small floor. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to stake out with our tent pegs. The front. And then what we're going to do is I've chosen a spot a little bit back. So from the front to here, this is going to be my floor. Now I'm also using these tarp clips. They just clip on and they hold your tarp. Now they also have a hole so you can put tent peg in. So what I'm going to do is put a peg in there. We're going to do the same thing here. I have another type of tarp clip. Okay. You just push it down, opens up, you slide it on, you push it forward, and it holds on your tarp. And I'll put my peg in here. So this here is the floor. Now, the nice thing about this is these are hiking poles. Well, the hiking poles can also be used to set up the tarp shelter. So on this tarp we have grommets. If you don't have a grommet, you just use one of those tarp clips, and you simply can just put your pole like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to peg it. So because I've already pegged the other side, it makes it a little bit easier to quickly set up. So what I do is I put my loop there, put it on, I can pull a little bit tight, You might have to readjust a little bit later. And put another peg. You can kind of hold it. It might be a little bit floppy right now, but you're just setting up your first one. Now you can do the same on the other side. Take your line. Into the hole, and you can pull this one tight. Now it looks like I'm a little close, so I'm just going to make a loop. Peg. And then I'm going to peg down this side. Oh, I really cut that one too short. Now it's okay if it's a little floppy, because what we're going to do is put a peg down in the front. Okay, put it there. And we're going to do the same to the other side. Adjust that a little bit. Like that. Now, as you can see, I now have a floor I can lay on. This tarp also has the ability to tie in the back, so you can pull that away in case it rains. So the advantage of this one is you have a floor. So a nice dry spot in order to camp out. Now, as Scudder Lance said, you'd like to have your opening facing east if possible, just because the wind in Quebec normally runs from west to east, especially in the morning. So that's it. Thank you. Start. Go. Okay, so one thing I did forget to mention is that we could put a ridgeline, because as you can see here, it's dipping down and it's not super solid. So what you do is you just take a long piece of your rope, and we're just going to clip it on here as well, tie it onto here, and then we're going to run it underneath. So this tent setup is a slightly different, not tent, but tarp shelter. It's designed in a way to give you coverage on different corners. It has a box front end, and as you can see inside, there are some dry areas so you can put your gear. And I showed just on the one side here that you can wrap it around to close it off more protection. On this side here, I've left it open just to let more air in. Okay. Uses the two poles in the front. And you can tie it off in the back. It is fairly roomy inside for a guy like me who's 6'1". Getting changed inside the shelter would be great. Still kind of open on the front end. And there's no protection from the bugs. You'd still need a bug net.